Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany and today we are working on an arm balance builder. So if you are new to arm balances or you have an arm balance in your practice but you're wanting to kind of rebuild your foundation, this class is for you. This is not a flow as much as it is just kind of getting your body prepared. So we'll be doing some drills that help to get into a Balakasana or a crow pose. And we'll also be refining all the way up until we get into that crow pose. If you have a block, it may be helpful to go ahead and grab that. Other than that, I will meet you on your mat when you're ready. So today we're going to start with some wrist warm-ups. So as you're seated, we can just roll through the wrists. A big part of arm balancing is making sure that your wrists are strong and healthy, especially because in yoga, take the circles the other way. We spend a lot of time on our hands. So get your wrists strong, get them warmed up and stretched out, and then we'll head into a tabletop. And you want to check with your alignment, keeping your elbows over your wrists, knees and hips in line, and you can have your toes tucked or untucked here, your choice. And we're just going to rock back and forth a few times. And while you're here, I want you to actively press into each fingertip. So anytime you're in a table, a dog, an arm balance, your fingers are going to be pressing forward as if they could press into the mat, or opening a jar is how I like to explain in class. So we'll go through that again just as a reminder. Turn your fingertips towards you, the inside of your arm facing forward, and start to lean back. You can come in and out of the stretch. This can be really intense on the wrists, so just listen to your body. Strong fingertips, and then turn your fingertips to face each other and rock side to side. This next one, some people don't really enjoy it, so if you don't like this next one, just be mindful. I'm going to actually come to seated on my feet and turn your hands so that the backs of your hands are down, fingers in, and lean side to side. You can go through these wrist stretches anytime before any sort of yoga practice. It's a good time to stretch the wrists. And turn your fingertips towards you, back of the hand down on the mat. And again, just stretch them out. Okay. Roll through your wrists, open and shut your fingers, get the hands nice and warm and ready, and then we'll meet in a tabletop. So a lot of arm balancing is also core strength, and there's this tuck that I want you to feel that you'll take into your crow pose. So for starters, we're going to drop our chest, and then on the exhale, push your chest away. So you can see how my shoulders and back round, so like a scapular push-up. Inhale, drop just the chest, and exhale, push it away. So this protraction is what I want you to think of when you're in your crow pose. And I'm going to say a lot of things, so don't let it scare you. Really, the best way to learn how to do a crow is to just do it and feel it out. Any arm balance. Okay, so after a couple scapular push-ups, you can take this next drill either from table or from down dog. I'm going to take mine from table. So we're going to kick this left leg back. And on the exhale, I'm going to tap my knee as high as I can into my left tricep. So this is the tuck that I'm talking about. Take it back. Draw it in and draw it up. You're going to do that with both of your legs when you're in crow. Draw it in, draw it up, and try to add that protraction of the scapula. So push the mat, draw it in, draw it up. One more on this side. Take it back. Exhale, draw it in, draw it up. All right, tabletop, take it to the other side. Again, you can take this from down dog. So I'll take this round from down dog so you can see what that looks like. We're in the protraction, breathe in, right leg back, and then exhale, draw it in, draw it up. So this is what it's going to look like if you're taking it from dog. Take it back. Draw it in, draw it up. Take it back. In and up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Take it back. In and up. Last one. In and up. Okay. the last drill that we're going to do in this video is going to be kind of like a crunch. And you can do any of these drills as many times as you want. The more you do it, the more strength you're going to gain and the better it'll be for your crow. I'm going through them kind of quickly. So take your time, pause, rewind, whatever you need to do. We're going to come to our low sacrum so that we're in kind of a boat pose here. And then take your hands out as if you were going into a crow pose. So protract the shoulders, draw the chest back, strong in the hands, and then bring your knees to your elbows to start. Breathe in, and then on the exhale, draw both knees in and try to tap your armpits. Breathe in, exhale, breathe in, exhale, breathe in, exhale, hold. I want you to see this and feel it. So your shoulders are rounded and your core and your hip flexors, there's this in and up action. Strong fingers, and release. One more, breathe in, exhale, good. Last thing we're gonna do, this time we're gonna bring the knees to the arms and then see if we can't tap our wrists with our toes. All right, take it long. Exhale, tap. Take it back. Exhale, tap. Squeeze, kick. Two more. Squeeze, kick. One more. Squeeze, kick. All right. So there are a couple of drills that you'll want to practice anytime you're practicing your crow pose. My teacher taught me a handful of those, and at first I hated them. So if you're like, this is the worst, okay. The longer you do it, the better you'll get, the less awkward they'll feel, and the stronger your arm balances are gonna get. All right, now to the arm balance. If you have a block nearby, you can grab it now. A block is not necessary. I will explain what it can be used for. So we're gonna start with our hands down. Now we're gonna revisit the hand strength situation I was talking about before. So I want your fingers, your index finger pointing forward. Your hands are gonna make a little bit of a check mark. So point them forward and then dial them a little bit out. So place them into the mat. And then I'm actively pressing into all of my fingertips, either like I'm opening a jar, so I'm rotating both arms out, or as if I could push my fingers through the mat to the ground, really active in the hands is what I'm trying to say. If we keep our wrists and our hands loosey-goosey, we will not have the upper body strength that we need. Okay, once my hands are set, I usually come up to my toes and walk my feet in a little closer. And I'm going to show you two ways to get into this. I'm going to show you my way first, and then I'm going to show you a slightly more accessible entrance next. So once we get here, I'm going to bend into my elbows. And right away, I'm going to start tucking my knees into my armpits. So this right here is where a lot of people will decide if this entrance is for them or not. So if you've made it this far, reactivate into the hands. And we're gluing the shins to the backs of the forearms. And this part is super important. You have to keep your gaze here or ahead. So the more you tilt your head back, the more your center of gravity is going to pull you forward and you might topple over. So keep your gaze ahead of you and start to lean forward. Draw that belly button up and in and feel that tuck of the belly, pulling those legs up. And then as you lean forward, maybe one foot comes off the mat. And this is where you can stay. If you're feeling really good, maybe both. Once you get there, if you get there, you can draw your big toes together and then kick your heels towards your bottom. So feel that lift, the rounding of the shoulders, the strong fingertips here. And then I'm slowly going to come out the way I came in. 1 foot, 2 feet, down. So I'm going to get into it one more time. Make sure I didn't miss anything from that entrance. Breathe in, exhale. I'm a vinyasa teacher, if you can't tell. Always got to go with the breath. Where the block can come in handy is in two places here. Actually, three. You can place your block at the end of your mat just as a reminder to keep your gaze forward. That's where I found it the most useful. There are some yogis that will place it directly under their forehead, and it gives them a little sense of security in case they do topple forward, that the block is going to catch them. So you can place your block on any level where your forehead is going to go. Next option is to place the block right here. And then as you are leaning forward, you take your feet up on the block. Okay, so getting back into it, checking in with the hands right away. You have to have a strong foundation. So grip into the mat, start bending into the knees, and then bend into the elbows. Tuck your knees into your armpits, and then start to lean forward. Gaze ahead of you. Draw the belly button up and in, rounding through the shoulders until you lift one, maybe both feet. And the shins need to be glued to those forearms. Once you take flight, breathe and practice bringing those toes in and up. Okay, slowly backing out. I'm going to show you the second entry point for a lot of yogis, especially if you're just starting out and you don't really have the flexibility to get your knees into your armpits. This one is a little bit more difficult to me, I'm not going to lie. So we will see where we go. I'm going to face you, I think. Okay, so same setup with the hands. The difference being the knees are going to squeeze in to the arms. Rather than resting on the back of the forearms, they're going to squeeze in. Gotta catch my breath. Okay, so here we go. Same setup, strong hands, check marks, opening jars, all of those things, whatever sort of reminder you need. And then bend into the arms, bring the knees to the outside of the arms, gaze forward. And as you lean forward, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Whew, that takes a lot of squeeze. Squeeze in those forearms. And then again, draw the toes together and up. So that is your second entry point. Same option with the block. Have it ahead of you as a visual reminder to keep your gaze forward. Have it directly under your forehead, a little bit of a comfort, or keep it behind you so your toes can come up on the block. So that's that. You feel free to pause, rewind. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or get a hold of me if you have my direct contact information, and I'm happy to answer them for you. Always want to practice to your capabilities. So if you have never been into an arm balance before, this can be really sore on the back of the arms. So take it easy. And that's that. I hope that helps with your arm balance. Keep practicing those drills, and I will see